So our story continues with the terrifying sight of Black Vegito, now standing in the middle of the ruined battlefield, as his aura would begin to rise higher and higher around him. And this would not be some normal power-up, no. This would be the kind of pressure that would make even monsters stop moving. As the dark energy around him would grow, Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Ego Vegeta, Beast Gohan, and Orange Piccolo would all be left staring forward in complete shock, their faces making it clear that whatever was standing in front of them now was not just another enemy. This was a fusion, but not the fusion they remembered. And as Black Vegito would slowly turn his eyes toward Goku and Vegeta, he would finally speak. "You remember, don't you? You two once showed the power of Vegito Blue, but this is Vegito Rose," and with a cold, almost divine arrogance in his voice, he would continue. "Your fusion had a time limit, but because we possess a god soul, our Vegito Rose is permanent. So now, prepare yourselves for ultimate justice." And hearing this, Beast Gohan would immediately lose his patience. Looking at this twisted fusion with anger burning in his eyes, Gohan would yell out, "You're insane, and I know exactly how to fix insane people." And without any fear, without waiting for Goku, Vegeta, or Piccolo to make a plan, Beast Gohan would launch himself straight toward Black Vegito. "No, Gohan!" Goku and Piccolo would shout at the same time, but it would already be too late. Gohan would close the distance in an instant, driving his fist straight into Black Vegito's face with everything he had. The impact would shake the air around them, dust bursting away from the force of the punch. But then, in a horrifying reveal, nothing would happen. Black Vegito's face would barely move. And as Gohan would stare in disbelief, Black Vegito would simply smile. Then, with one brutal punch to Gohan's stomach, the entire momentum would shift. Gohan's body would fold around the strike, blood bursting from his mouth as the Beast Warrior's eyes would widen in pain. And just like that, the same Gohan who had rushed forward with no fear would now drop down onto his knees, barely able to breathe. But before Black Vegito could fully enjoy the sight, Orange Piccolo would attack from the left side, driving a powerful kick directly into the side of Black Vegito's neck. And once again, nothing. There would be no damage, no panic, not even the slightest sign that Black Vegito had been hurt. Instead, with terrifying calmness, Black Vegito would raise his right hand, creating a dark energy sword from his palm, and in the very next moment, with one clean slash, Piccolo's left leg would be cut through. The giant Namekian would scream out as he crashed to the ground, grabbing his injured leg while Black Vegito would remain exactly where he was, looking as if he had only swatted away something beneath him. And seeing this, Goku would look toward Vegeta. But before Goku could even say a word, Vegeta would already know what he was thinking. "Don't even think about it," Vegeta would say. And with rage now taking over, Ultra Ego Vegeta would power up and rush straight toward Black Vegito, with Goku following behind him. But at that same moment, Black Vegito would grab Beast Gohan by the collar and lift him up into the air like he weighed nothing. Holding him there, face to face, Black Vegito would mock him. "You call yourself Beast? One punch, and this is your condition?" And as he would say this, Black Vegito would once again create a sword from his right hand, slowly bringing the blade near Gohan's head. But just as the blade would get close, Vegeta would attack from behind, firing multiple ki blasts straight into Black Vegito's back. The blasts would explode against him, forcing Black Vegito to turn his attention for only a second, and that single second would be enough. Instantly, Goku would appear in front of him with instant transmission. driving a powerful punch straight into Black Vegito's stomach. The impact would force Black Vegito to release Gohan, and as Gohan would begin to fall, he would still manage to twist his body and kick Black Vegito from behind. For the first time, Black Vegito would be pushed forward. But if they thought this meant they had found an opening, they would be wrong. Very wrong. Because Black Vegito would then power up again, dark aura exploding around him as an axe of energy would form from his hand. And with one swing, multiple laser-like attacks would fire out across the battlefield, piercing through both Goku and Gohan before either of them could fully react. Then a massive blast would erupt, throwing both of them backward as smoke and debris swallowed the area. And without wasting a second, Black Vegito would fly toward Vegeta, grab him by the head, and drag him through the air before smashing him violently into a broken wall. The battlefield would shake from the impact, and then our scene would shift. Far away on Beerus's planet, Whis would be watching the situation with a serious expression. "Lord Beerus," Whis would say, "do you not think we should go and save Earth? The timeline itself may need to be corrected." But Beerus, already angry, would snap back. "This is their fault. Let them deal with it themselves. They have played with time again and again." Whis would look at Beerus carefully before replying, "But this may no longer remain only Earth's problem. Universe 7, and perhaps even the multiverse, may be in danger." Beerus would only make a bitter expression, still refusing to move. And then from behind them, Broly would speak. "If you don't want to help, then send me." But before that question could go any further, we would return to the battlefield, where Black Vegito would still have Vegeta pinned near the wall. And there he would begin firing multiple small key attacks into Vegeta's body, each one exploding against him again and again. Then Black Vegito would once more bring out his axe, looking down at the Saiyan Prince with cold finality. "Your time is over. Ultimate justice will begin with your death, Saiyan." But just as the axe would be raised, 3 glowing power rings would suddenly fly in from behind, wrapping around Black Vegito and locking his body in place. And as the camera would pull back, we would see that the one responsible would be none other than Gotenks. "If we're talking about justice," Gotenks would say, "then the guardian of justice has arrived. And I'm going to beat you so hard, Black Uncle, you'll turn white." For a second, the battlefield would almost feel lighter. But Black Vegito would not be amused. "Rat," he would mutter, and with one burst of strength, one of the rings would immediately shatter. Gotenks, realizing the danger, would transform into Super Saiyan 3, his long golden hair exploding outward as he poured more power into the remaining 2 rings. And then, from the left side, a familiar voice would begin to echo. From the right side, another attack would begin. And from behind, Vegeta's voice would rise. Gotenks, struggling to hold the rings together, would yell out, "Hurry up, guys! He's way too powerful!" And as Black Vegito would power up even harder, cracks would begin to spread across the last 2 rings. The timing would be almost gone. But then, all at once, Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Ego Vegeta, and Beast Gohan would release their attacks. The 3 beams would collide against Black Vegito in a gigantic explosion, one so bright and violent that the entire battlefield would vanish inside the blast. And just then, Supreme Kai and Gowasu would arrive, appearing in the middle of the smoke and chaos. For a moment, it would seem like maybe, just maybe, the combined attack had done something. But as the smoke would begin to clear, that hope would die almost instantly, because Black Vegito would still be standing. Damaged, yes, protected inside a dark shield, and as the cracked shield would fade around him, Black Vegito would look at them with disgust. Insects. Then, using his axe again, he would fire multiple laser attacks across the battlefield, striking Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Gotenks one after another. And with that brutal counterattack, the scene would once again shift back to Beerus's planet. There, Broly would step forward, refusing to stay still any longer. "My training is complete," Broly would say. "I want to test my new power, and Goku has saved me many times. This time, I want to help him." Beerus would glare at him. "I said no. No one is leaving this planet. Do you not understand?" But Broly would not back down. And as Whis would look toward Beerus with a serious expression, Broly would suddenly begin to power up, his energy rising until he transformed into his controlled legendary Super Saiyan state. Then, with his aura raging around him, Broly would say, "Then I challenge you. If I defeat you, you will let me go there." Beerus would stare at him for a moment before answering. "Fine, if you can force me to use even 50% of my power, I will take you there myself." And just like that, Beerus and Broly would both enter their fighting stances, ready to test each other before the real war could even begin. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the smoke would finally clear again. Black Vegito would be powering up in the distance, while Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Gotenks, and Piccolo would all stand together. And Piccolo, having regenerated his leg, would now be back on both feet. Goku would turn toward Vegeta, knowing there was only one option left. "Come on, Vegeta, accept it. Even if all of us fight together, we won't be able to defeat Ultra Black Vegito like this. Get ready. This is the only way." Gotenks would also look toward Vegeta and add, "He's right, Vegeta. This is the only path." And then Supreme Kai would remove a Potara earring and place it into Goku's hands. But Black Vegito would immediately understand what they were trying to do. "I won't allow that." And as he would rush forward, Beast Gohan would fire a powerful wave attack with one hand, trying to stop him. But Black Vegito would keep moving straight through it, completely unaffected. Piccolo would join in next, firing his own wave beside Gohan. Then Gotenks would join them as well, combining his power with theirs in one final attempt to buy time. Gohan would yell back, "Please, hurry!" And finally, with an annoyed expression, Vegeta would take the earring. But Black Vegito's advance would not stop. Powering up through the combined waves, he would tear straight through the attack and appear in front of Gohan, driving a massive punch into his face. Gohan would be launched away, crashing down as his beast form disappeared, leaving him unconscious in his normal state. Then Black Vegito would appear in front of Piccolo, place his hand against the Namekian's stomach, and fire a devastating ki attack through him. Piccolo would be thrown back, his orange form fading as he returned to normal. And as Black Vegito would continue forward, Gotenks would make one last move. Multiple ghosts would appear in front of Black Vegito, blocking his path, with Gotenks standing behind them. Kamikaze ghost attack. But Black Vegito would simply raise his hand and unleash one enormous wave of energy. The ghosts would be wiped away instantly, scattered into nothing before they could even reach him. And the force of the blast would break Gotenks' fusion completely, splitting him back into Goten and Trunks. At the same time, Goku and Vegeta would finally put the Potara earrings onto their ears. The two Saiyans would fly toward one another, closing the distance for fusion. But Black Vegito would see it happening, and with rage in his eyes, he would charge a massive attack and fire it straight toward them. The attack would race across the battlefield, threatening to erase the fusion before it could even be born. But then, in a shocking moment, Gowasu would appear between them. Taking the full force of the attack onto himself, the Elder Kai would shield Goku and Vegeta from Black Vegito's strike, and as the blast consumed him, Gowasu's body would begin to burn away, turning into ash inside the light. But his sacrifice would not be for nothing, because in the very next moment, a gigantic white and pink flash would explode across the battlefield, and through that light a voice would be heard, "You will pay for your sins, Black." And as the brightness would finally fade, we would see him, the first appearance of Ultra Vegito. Standing before him, surrounded by his own dark aura, would be Ultra Black Vegito. Two ultimate fusions, two impossible powers, and one battlefield that may not survive what comes next. So what will happen now? Who truly stands above the other? Will Ultra Vegito be enough to stop Ultra Black Vegito? Or has Black already gone too far beyond them? Find out in Chapter 4 titled, Who is the Ultimate Strongest Fusion? Ultra Vegito versus Black Ultra Vegito. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave your thoughts in the comments, and tell me what you want to see next in the story, and what you think can be made even better going forward.